Okay.
Want me to fix your hair?
No, don't smooth. Poof, people.
All right, welcome to Meanwhile at the Castle podcast. This is episode 21, and it is September 28th, 2017. And we have a website, meanwhileatthecastle.com, and a Ravelry group, meanwhileatthecastle.com. I am Queen Deborah.
I'm Queen Emily.
And welcome to our podcast.
2 weeks. We're doing good here.
I know.
2 weeks.
It has
Okay.
not been a month and a half.
Yay. That's good. And you can tell in my knitting. There's not as much this time.
That's okay. That's okay. That means we have more time for chit chat.
Exactly.
To talk about each thing. So
That's
instead of having to rush through it.
Awesome.
So last 2 weeks, anything exciting?
Magical fall. I love fall so much, and it's actually cooled off here, and it just is so happy. Like things are calm, and I feel like every day we just do school and our homeschool. We do schoolwork and clean the house and bake yummy things and
back to
play
real
and
life.
read and just good, normal, simple, happy
everyday things.
Yes.
I have been saying when people ask anything new, I say no. Thank goodness.
Heavens. I know. I'm so happy for calm.
Yeah. Yep. I went to a book retreat, a book lovers
right. I wanted to hear how that
retreat
went.
last weekend. It was so much fun. It was really fun. Now, believe it or not, I'm an introvert. Well, it's probably not hard to believe.
That's not hard to. I mean, I know that's about you.
I mean, we're recording a podcast, but we can do that here and
right. There's just the
alone.
two of us. Hi.
So anytime I go to do something adventurous like this, I think this is going to be so much fun. And then the day of, I panic and think, what was I thinking? I cannot leave my house. Don't make me leave my house. I'm not going to do it. But I was actually really good. I was an adult and I left my house.
Good job.
On my own accord. And I went, and it was really fun. And we went to several used bookstores. We had like a day where the entire schedule was read. Oh, lovely. Yes.
Was there any knitting involved? Did you take any knitting?
I thought, am I going to be kicked out of this group if I take my knitting and listen to audiobooks? But then I found out that like 3/4 of the people there all thought the same thing, and they all brought their knitting, and so we had our knitting group as well. It was fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I taught one of the ladies there to knit while we were there.
Nice.
And she was very good. She was really quick. So I laid on a couch on the top floor of the cabin where I could see out over the patio, over the deck, the landscape, and it was gorgeous. And I laid there and read an entire book. I read Book of 1,000 Days.
Oh, I love that book so much.
It was really fun. It was nice. So I had a fantastic time. I didn't buy any yarn, even though there were quite a few yarn stores. Wait.
Quite a few. You did buy yarn. You buy yarn, didn't you?
It was over. I was on my way home.
Fess up.
So I did buy
Fess
yarn.
up.
But not much. Just a little bit. So that's what I was up to.
That's fantastic.
I had a great time.
We had such a good time this last week. First of all, everybody in our family has had a cold. So here I am saying how magical and everything is. It was magical even though we've all had colds. Just because everything's been so busy and now it was all calmed down. And so the fact that everybody had a cold, it wasn't a big deal. We could just lay around and relax and deal with it, right?
And it got chilly and there was rain and thunder and it's so lovely in the fall like that.
But on Monday, we were all starting to perk up enough that I'm like, we need to get out of the house. And so we have a thing where every Monday night is our family night. So we do some kind of a fun family activity or discussion or something. And so we did, for our family night, we went to the Jordan River Parkway. So the Jordan River is this long but teeny little river in Utah, because in Utah, we don't have big massive rivers. We just have little teeny ones. But anyway, but it's really long, and for miles and miles and miles of this river, there's a gorgeous paved walkway, and there's little parks dotted all along it. Anyway, so we just went over there and went for a walk with the kids, and I took a couple little videos and of my kids twirling and just things like that. And
that is a happy day. That's a nice time.
And then we came home and had homemade cinnamon rolls, and they were so with cream cheese icing.
I just want to say, I miss cinnamon rolls so much.
I know. You can't have good gluten-free cinnamon rolls. There just really isn't
I've made some, but it's taken like an entire day, and at the end, I feel like it's not even worth it.
Yeah, so, it's not the same.
Yeah.
I remember. But yes, anyway, that was like such a fun time. Just a little thing. Little thing. We went for a walk. Why does that have to be such a big deal?
Okay, I went to, we live 1 block away from an elementary school, a public school just down the street, and my daughter wanted to go there to the playground and play and swing on the swings. And I realized I haven't taken her there for like 2 years to go play on the playground. So I took her and she rode her bike around, and then we sat on the swings and we were swinging, and I was like, this is so enjoyable.
But it's not like you haven't been to a park or anything in that.
No, I just haven't taken her, like, I've taken my kids for years, would go there, you know, several times a week, and I'd take them to the playground and they'd play, but I don't know, I feel like I've failed my youngest daughter that I haven't done that with her, but it's just a simple things of just going and sitting on the swings. So
I was having this conversation with a friend of ours that just a few days ago about how I constantly, I'm all the time saying, oh, I wish I would have done this with my older kids. Mm-hmm. Or I wish I would have done that with my older kids, that I'm doing now in our homeschooling with my 2 younger ones. But then on the other side, I do the other thing all the time, where I'm always saying, oh, I wish I would have, I've never taken my 2 younger kids to go do this or that activity that I did all the time with my bigger kids. And I finally am just like, I need to stop doing that. It really is okay. We don't have to be the same mom to all of our children. They're going to get a different experience.
They need different things.
And that's okay.
So I'm looking down here through our fun book that we're going to share at the end.
Her fun book. She doesn't want to show it to me because she wants to make me snort on camera.
Because that's more fun. It's more fun that way.
I don't really snort though.
So, but I forgot to mark some of them. Anyways.
Well, we should talk some knitting then.
Okay, let's do that.
I really don't have very much knitting because weirdly enough, I have been almost entirely a monogamous knitter for the past 2 weeks.
Emily, that's shocking.
I know.
Honestly.
It's weird. So I have a lot of progress on one project.
Okay.
So I have, just 2 things to show today.
I've actually done a lot.
So, what do you want to start with?
Okay, I'm going to start with... Well, we'll start with finished objects.
Do we usually start...
Is that what we start with?
I can't remember.
Wait, I can tell you.
I guess we start with finished objects.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so you go first.
Okay, I finished my daughter's pair of socks here.
They look so nice.
The cuff was the cuff pattern from Emily's Candy Floss socks with just a little twisted stitched kind of cable ribbing.
That yarn is so pretty.
It is. It is a Malabrigo Aguas.
Yeah, Malabrigo Sock.
Yes, Malabrigo Sock. Emily knows all Malabrigo.
I don't know all Malabrigo.
If I don't remember, I'm just going to ask Emily and she'll tell me.
But I do know a lot of them.
And I didn't weigh it. I mean, I have a substantial amount of yarn left. Now, I did wind this skein twice. I started doing that until my ball winder pretty much gave up the ghost, as people would say.
Mine is the same.
So it's nice and fluffy, and I've done that so that if I store it like this, I won't, it's not a big deal. It's not really tight.
It's not super tight, yeah.
And this is pair 11 for the year, and my goal was to finish 12. And I just did a vanilla sock, which is plain stockinette, a simple wedge toe, and a slip stitch heel in contrasting colors. The main yarn is AJHC wools, and the colorway is Vintage Funk.
That's a fun name.
It is a fun name. That is half of the fun of
Absolutely.
Yarn. When I first started knitting and everything had a colorway instead of like, it's teal. I'm like, come on people, can't you just call it teal? Or anyways, I am all over the names now. I
love it.
I love it.
I love it so much.
So now she can wear those.
All right, so here's my finished object, which are this pair of no purl monkey socks. These are also out of Malabrigo in the India Sita colorway, Malabrigo Sock. And I love them. And I like knitting monkey socks. They're so fast. They're really fun.
And you've done several of them now. Do you even have to look at the pattern?
I'm trying to remember. I usually when I start a new pair, I need to glance at the chart again just to remind myself how to start it. Mm-hmm. But then I don't ever have to look at it again. And I don't know, honestly, I have never like followed the pattern from line 1 down to the bottom. So maybe the monkey sock has a different heel or toe or something.
But
I'm using the lace chart, and I just do my own, my regular slip stitch heel. And my favorite thing to do with heels is to put a little garter edge on the side of the heel, because it just makes picking up those stitches so neat and tidy and easy. So that's one of the things I like to do with them. I think I got that from the Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern. I'm pretty sure that's where that came from. But I do that on every sock ever since then, pretty much. Sometimes I'll vary how big I make that garter border, but it's usually, like, I think on these it's just a 2-stitch garter border on either side of the heel.
2? Because I remember you telling me you liked 3.
I did 3 originally, but I started doing 2 just so it's smaller. And I just really like the no purl version. I don't have any desire to put the pearls. The lace chart for these socks has kind of a purl section in the little, like, I'm trying to figure out where it is exactly. I think you can't, like here. Like, I think it's got a purl section here in these V's.
Oh.
I think that's what it is. I could be wrong, but I just leave that out. Wherever it says purl, I just knit it. So it's just the yarn overs and the decreases to get that little lace pattern, and it's just fun. And it's nice because it's not a very long lace pattern, so it's enough where you just want to knit another repeat, and it just flies off the needles.
How many stitches do you cast on?
This one this pattern calls for a 64 stitch. I'm sure I could modify that and get the same feel for it. I did do 64 stitch, but I find that's a little bit small for me, and so I went up a needle size.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, what if right here between, you added a stitch between each
I think I would
pattern?
just probably make it a little bit of a longer lace repeat and continue the eyelets out another row of V's. Does that make sense?
Okay, so here you get these V's, and if you added another row, it would widen it, so you could get an extra, because there's four lace.
Yeah, so that would add 8 stitches to the sock. So I think I could do that. I mean, I just haven't done it. But normally I knit on 2.25 millimeter. I knit these on 2.5, which I think works fine with this yarn. I don't know that I would like, and the fact that it's a lace sock, I don't think I would like that with some of the lighter fingering yarns, because they would just be a little bit loosey-goosey.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, what kind of cast on do you do on the top of your...
I always do a long tail cast on.
I want to see the stretchiness. Well, when you block them out.
Yeah, this one blocked out, but I mean, they're plenty stretchy.
Yeah, I was going to say, I started doing I think it's called Old Norwegian cast on.
And I haven't ever done that one.
Really similar. It's just adds in a little bit extra yarn, so it stretches a little bit more. But I'm getting ready to knit Moms, and I want it to be a little more stretchy, because I know that would be something. One of the things,
so here's it's probably a completely dumb thing for me to worry about, but I hate it when I knit a pair of socks and the top goes
flares.
Even though when you wear it, it doesn't matter. No. It doesn't show. It's only when it's off your foot that shows. So
because
it really shouldn't matter.
Look how lovely it is, all straight.
It's so pretty. Look how pretty.
That's why that is actually the number one reason why I do top down.
Right. It's why I don't want to do toe up socks, because I see so many people like, bind off. And I never have a problem with my cast on edge. Yep. And I don't have a problem with my toes. So I just knit top down and I'm happy.
Well, and because I've done it that way so many times, I'd have to think too much about doing toe up. This would look so lovely with what I'm wearing.
Yes, it matches perfectly.
Wearing socks the wrong way.
We've done this before. I think we've done this on the podcast before. I think we have a problem. We just want to wear our socks as accessories by our face.
Here we go.
See? It's pretty.
Let's get this on. Okay, ready?
Okay. We have a problem. But this is not surprising to anybody.
I was going to say, how many are we going to count today?
How many problems we have? Personal problems, like. Anyway, they're so pretty. I just love having these stacks of piles of pretty socks.
So I I'm doing what Amber Lindemann of Yarn Hoarder podcast does, where she has a ornament storage box, like Christmas storage box. It's like a Rubbermaid, I think it's red, and anyways, it's got dividers for ornaments, and she stores socks in there for her family, and she has one or two for all of her family. She's been knitting for 4 years.
She's been knitting like the same amount of time as me, and she knits
so much. So
oh my goodness.
That's a great idea. I'm going to get that for my family. I have one bin
for your whole family
that's less than halfway full, but I've been working really hard on it. I don't knit as fast, but I have like 7 or 8 pair of my own that I would regularly wear, and then so every other pair I've knit for me and then for somebody else. So I knit one for me, one for somebody else, one for me, one for somebody else. So
that's smart.
So I'm working on it. We're getting there. Someday I'll have that lovely stack of socks.
I got a few of my things out of the M&M selection.
I like which one is which.
We have an M&M selection here. I'm like, we need 3 different flavors.
Yes.
So these are the almonds.
Okay, and this is peanut butter.
Those are peanut butter, and those are caramel.
Okay.
Or caramel, depending on how you say it. Anyway, I got a few of my things out of my. I have a drawer that's like the stuff that I wear. Mm-hmm. That's my knits that I wear. Sorry. Yeah, the stuff that I wear is in a drawer. Okay. The knits that I regularly wear are in a drawer together. And because I try and keep them together so I can have some cedar in there and everything. And so I opened the drawer and I was going through things and I thought, I don't remember if I washed all my shawls at the end of the season. And so I got a few of those out and washed them and then this is a dumb thing, but I really like the smell of the wool wash. And so I'm like, I'm just going to wash these again. So refreshing the smell of the wool wash. Anyway, so I had like this washing and blocking party at my house.
I love this one.
That smells good.
Now I can't even remember what it was. Let's smell yours. Smelling socks. Ooh, it smells good. Wait. They're similar.
Okay. Here is a guilty secret. You ready?
Okay.
This is Woolite.
Okay.
Like at the grocery store.
It smells really nice.
It's the baby one. It smells so good. That's the only reason I use it is because I like the smell of it.
Yeah, I like it.
It doesn't smell like baby stuff. It just...
No.
Okay.
I told you I like to smell it.
I love smelling yarn too. Whenever I get a skein of yarn, I always smell it. Do you do that?
Well, the other day,
look. Sorry.
I got some yarn in the mail, and I'm sitting there smelling it, and I'm like, smell to all of my family. And they're like,
why are you doing
okay, Mom.
Okay, but the worst is when you get some yarn and you open the package, and then a bad smell comes out of that package.
Yes.
That should never happen.
Yes.
Never. Anyways.
Yes.
Okay, that was tangential.
Do you have any more finished objects?
No, I told you I have one finished object.
Okay, I have a few. I have a couple.
Okay, I'm wondering if I start. I can't knit a whole row on this until because it's a long row.
All right. This yarn.
So pretty.
Did I show this? No, I didn't show this. I had cast it on last time. This yarn, it's just art yarn in the colorway Oyster Blush. It's a singles, Aran weight single.
Ooh, this would make it pretty. One of my new shawls.
It's not as soft though. It's a little bit more rustic.
Yeah.
I made a hat for my husband for Christmas. Now I blocked it on a balloon. I blew up the balloon too big. So it's a little bit wide. I'm gonna have to reblock it.
Yeah.
The pattern is the Able Cable Hat by Kari Steinetz.
Is that a free pattern?
No, this one is not. Actually, now I can't remember. I don't remember if this was a free pattern or not, but I got it on Ravelry, and it was really simple. It's actually, I really love cabled hats, but this one's not really cabled. This is a mock cable. It's just with slip, knit, yarn overs, some different things like that, and it was really simple. I liked doing this one a lot, and it had a cute, I always love, well, you can't see now that it's kind of flat. I should have brought
that looks nice though.
the top. Don't tell my husband I think it looks like a flower.
We'll tell him it looks like gear. What is it?
Won't matter
It's a
at all.
flywheel. There you go. It looks
But
like a
I'm
flywheel.
working on Christmas stuff now.
Yes.
Or just cozy things, which I may give at Christmas or not. So, but that's what I'm working on now, are Christmas things.
What cast on is that?
This one is the old Norwegian cast on because
So
it's a little stretchier.
I do like the look of that.
It has a
It
little
almost
bit of
looks
an
like
extra
a little,
ridge.
like a, I don't know if you can see that. It looks kind of cabled. Like
I overblocked it a little bit, so it's kind of pulled out. I wonder if you can see it as well. It does get a little bit extra.
So one of the things I've seen, did you blow up the balloon before you put the hat on it?
Yes.
So one of the things I've seen about blocking hats is you blow up the balloon just a little bit and then you put it in it and then you keep blowing it up.
Okay.
And so it blows up inside the hat without stretching out your brim.
Because that is the thing, is that
So like it kind of comes back down
gets
around.
too wide at the point where the brim is, and if I make it smaller, then it was too narrow for everything else. It was just too small. But if you blow it up at the same time.
Anyway,
I figured what I was going to do was just block it flat instead of on a balloon.
Yeah.
Which I've typically done. I just thought I'd try the balloon one. Because this was a lot more squishy before, and now it's has no squishiness to it.
a good soak will probably help that a bit.
So, but it was a really quick knit, pretty easy. I did this actually at the book retreat. I knit this hat there.
That's fun. I love those knits where you can just kind of sit down and start it, and before long you've got it done.
I could easily get another hat though. Easily.
Very nice.
So
here's a sad thing. I knit a really nice cabled hat for our brother Andrew a few years ago for Christmas. And I was showing it to my oldest son, who was, I guess, 19 at the time. And I said, what do you think of this hat? Because I was thinking maybe I would make something like that for him or for my husband who have similar tastes. And he's like, it looks like a hobo hat. I'm like, why? Anyway, it comes down to it. He just doesn't, he's like, trying to think the best way anybody who knows like the personality typing that we know, it's like a type 4 thing. So it's like he likes very plain.
he likes straight lines, orderly,
straight
neat,
order.
smooth.
Yes. So for him, that looks just rustic or whatever. But on like Jason, that will look amazing.
Yeah,
but
my husband,
Richard
this is
wear it.
actually what's funny is that I had just finished this. I came home from my retreat. My husband was outside working and he had on a hat. I swear it's almost the same hat.
So he'll love it.
He will. Because he
love
will love it. He likes to have multiples of the exact same thing. So he'll be happy that
I know, and that's why I never knit for my husband, because
It's
really
kinda
what I need to
boring
what I need to
sometimes.
make for him is a shawl collar sweater that has no the only ribbing would be at the wrists and the hemline. No cabling, fingering weight, because he wouldn't, well, maybe DK. He wouldn't want it to be too bulky. And gray, just gray. That's the only.
See, my husband would like cables. He would like bulky weight. He would like, he likes the shawl collar. He likes, but all of his sweaters look exactly the same. They're this color or gray.
Mm-hmm. And they're cabled.
And they're cabled.
And they look so good on him.
They look really good on him. They do.
And
but
that,
I'm like, if I knit you one, it'd be like it's indistinguishable from all the others.
That's how I feel too.
But my
And yet-
husband really wants one, so I'm going to.
That's good. I really think I need to knit one for my husband too, but I just have to find the right pattern, because how do you find a fingering weight shawl collar pattern for a man? I haven't found one. So if you know of one, please share it with me.
That's what you've been wanting to do.
Not a sweater. I don't think I'm ready for that.
No, my
Anyway.
husband was kind of opposed to hand knit things for him until he learned to knit.
Now he thinks it's
And
cool.
then he's like, that's when he started buying me all the yarn.
So fun.
He's like, yeah, I want a hat. I want, all these things. I'm like, I thought you didn't like any of those, but you appreciate it more when you know how much work and the talent that goes into it. So I'm happy to knit for him. He gets really excited seeing anybody with something knitted. He's like, oh, is that, and he'll start asking them about fiber. He was buying me yarn, and the lady that was at the register was asking him about it, like, do you even know what this is? He's like, oh yeah, this one's mohair and this one's wool, and she's like, Okay.
I know people always react really interestingly to Ethan, to my son, about knitting. Like, it's kind of funny. Because of his age, I think it's a little different because it's more, what's the word? It's more acceptable because it's a little more trendy because he's younger. But I'm sure that with Jason, it's a little bit, like, people might be weird about it.
But my husband takes great pride in the fact that he understands the lingo. So
I love it. That's fun.
All right. I have one more
Yes.
finished.
What else do you have?
I was working on quilt or blanket squares, pinwheel squares last time, and I finished this one.
Cute. I love those colors.
And then I made one more that are kind of similar.
It's just like a more saturated version.
Yeah. Yeah.
So fun. Ooh, I like this one. What is that yarn?
I don't know. Most of these were unlabeled.
Oh, they're so fun.
Most of them were unlabeled, so I don't know what a lot of them are. I know there's a couple of them that I really like. This one is a really more dense. It's a really round yarn. It's not.
It might
I don't
even be
know.
sport.
I don't know. It's really nice.
Oh, maybe not. Just
I have several when I start knitting them, and they're from lovely friends. Like, what is this? And they don't know.
so fun.
That's okay.
I actually didn't think to bring my blanket. I've knit a few more squares. Just every once in a while I'll put like one or two in it. But I haven't been spending that much time on
Well,
it.
this one, I like doing these because they're portable. I took it with me and did,
Yeah.
I don't know, half of one of these while I was on my trip. But I was noticing it takes me the same amount of time to do one triangle as it takes you to do your square, which your square is about the same size.
Yeah, it's pretty close to the same size as two triangles.
I'm like,
It's
why
a little.
is it taking me forever? But I realize I have to turn and turn and turn and
Yeah,
turn and turn and turn
you really
and turn.
do.
But I also busy chatting usually when I'm doing it, so so it just seems to be a little bit more laborious. But I really like the finished.
I do too.
So if I keep going at this rate, I will have a blanket in approximately 5 years.
That me too. I mean, I already have a blanket, but then I could have a blanket, and then
I have a strip. I've got 7 of these, and I figure I'll make it six wide.
nice.
So I can get like right across my shoulders right now and be warm there.
There you go.
Or my toes can be warm.
Well, and because mine isn't like a modular one that you add, what am I trying to say? I knit each square onto the blanket, because
Yeah.
of that, I can't really take it with me.
Yep.
But the good thing is that you knit a square, there's no live stitches at that point. So it's still over the back of my chair and I'll still use it.
Yeah, you can
So-
you can use that, and not just that, but these I will need to block them to seam them because they're all kind of
Yeah.
wonky, and I still have to seam them together, which I don't know, that I haven't done it yet, but it doesn't seem to faze me. I'm like, yeah, that's fine.
Seaming
I
is
kind
not a
of
big
enjoy
deal.
seaming.
I was really intimidated by seaming when I first started knitting, but I ended up knitting that striped sweater last year, and it's entirely knit in pieces and seamed. It's no big deal.
No,
It was
it's not.
no big deal. And in fact, there were some really things I really like about it. There's a stability
Yes.
to the shaping that's very nice. And on top of that, it seems so much faster because you like knit a whole piece.
Instead of
Like
I'm
this
still
one where I've
working
got
on-
all the weight on the needles as you go on. It was just that one piece, and then it seems really fast. I'm like, ooh, I could cast on the next piece. There was kind of
almost like a finished object each time
Yeah.
you do
yes.
the front. You do the back panel. You do
And
this.
then I wove in all like 700 and something ends. I don't remember what it was. It was ridiculous.
Yes. Weaving in ends, it doesn't bother me too much, but when you have a lot, then
That was a lot.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
That's my finished objects. Everything else are work
I
in
have
progress.
one work in progress. So you go ahead because I know you've got a few. But I'm like,
Well,
I mean,
tell
I
me about
have.
yours. I want to hear about
Okay,
it.
well, first of all,
just
I
have a
have to
marathon.
say I do still have other works in progress. They're just haven't had any progress.
So they're just works.
Yeah, they're just works. So I have a secret project I'm working on that I haven't shown anywhere, but I think I may be unraveling it and starting
Aw.
over. So there's that. But then I have my Shawl of Death, which is the Romeo shawl, which is going to be gorgeous someday when I finish it. And I haven't touched that because I was so mad at it the last time when I actually lost a pattern repeat of progress in my knitting session instead of gained one. So those have just been sitting there.
When you put it on Ravelry, your project
The Shawl
page.
of Death. The beautiful lace weight Shawl of Death. But this is what I've been doing for the past 2 weeks. And it's going to be kind of hard to show this. First of all, I'm knitting the Fancy Kari. The Fancy Kari by Joji Locatelli, which has got this draped front and the lace fronts and then a stockinette stitch, arm sleeves, that's what goes on your arms, and back. And last time I showed it, I just had like this much lace, you know. Mm-hmm. And this is what I have now. So if I can figure out how to show it. This is the collar, so it'll kind of drape open like that. And these are the armholes, which seem extraordinarily ginormous, even for a plus size sweater. We'll see how that goes.
Wait, here, let's get this up.
Yeah, see if you can see it.
The shawl collar.
Yeah, the drapey collar thing here. And these are the fronts, so let's turn it around and you can see the back. And here's the back. And it's a really interesting construction. The armholes just seem gigantic.
But
I don't. They really aren't. I don't know.
Probably really cozy.
It's not gonna be fitted by any stretch of the imagination, and that's fine. That's totally fine. But I am now to the body where I'm just working the underarm and the body, and there are increases every 10 rows. So every 10 rows, I'm gaining 4 stitches. I tell you this because when I first actually put all the stitches for under the arms on the needles, I started at 447 stitches, and there's increases, and I still have like 11.5 inches of this pattern to go.
I shouldn't whine about my shawl.
This is going to take me a while.
It's so pretty though.
It's beautiful. I love it so much. I love the yarn.
Feels really soft and cozy.
Here's a closer up view of the lace. If you can see it. It's so pretty.
That is pretty.
It's really pretty. And I'm really excited to see. I think it's going to be nice and drapey once it's blocked. It's just, and I love the quality of the color in the stockinette section. I am alternating skeins, but not perfectly. I'm trying to make it kind of random. I bought 5 skeins together at one time, and they all looked pretty close, like they'd come out of the same dye bath. It's still Malabrigo. Oh yeah, Malabrigo in the Light of Love colorway, but look at the difference, like here. Mm-hmm. This is out of that same too. So I've already
the same.
These were 2 of the 5 that I bought at the same time.
That were still the same dye lot.
Well, dye lot with Malabrigo. I mean, they're going to be different.
That's true.
This one is the most saturated. And I had just finished up knitting in the 6th skein, which I had to buy somewhere else. And luckily found one that really didn't look terribly different. But you'll see, let's see if you can help me kind of show. I don't know if you can see. Right here you can see there's some extra white, like little blips of white through.
But not really.
See here, like that.
Okay, so if we get our hand.
It's not a lot.
Okay, so kind of like right.
But that came in from the other skein. So that skein that I bought separately just had a little bit more white. But the color themselves, they just seem to be going together quite well.
Kind of a.
But you can kind of see here.
Stonewashed. Okay, so laying it down, you can kind of see right here. It's a little more of a
darker,
raspberry, like
and then
a cooler
you've got
tone.
A little bit more corally right here.
A little bit, but it's so
I think it looks
faint.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. Right now I am just trying to alternate, 2 rows of this skein and then alternating in 2 rows of this skein. I've already been working with this one, so I'm kind of staggering them. Does that make sense? So I don't just use 2 skeins and then 2 different skeins, but they're overlapping each other.
Yeah.
So this one, all the other, I have, these are my 3rd and 4th skeins. So I have 2 more, both the other two look almost identical to this one. So I'm not sure if I want to keep going with every other with this one, or if I want to kind of do, I don't know,
a little bit less.
It's really not going to matter because
Good hair.
I don't really care if it's a perfect, I've never been one who cares if everything is perfectly scattered throughout. I don't have a problem with some variation. I just don't want chunks. And I just love the color. I love every version of this color. I mean, I look at this one and how you've got a little bit more orange in there, and I'm like, oh, I just love that. And I looked at the one that had more white flicked through it. Oh, I just love that. And then this one that's that deeper, more saturated. Yeah. Oh, I just love it. I just love this. So I think I said, but it's the Light of Love colorway. I think it should be renamed the Emily colorway.
It's perfect.
Because
I love
it's just so
this
pretty.
yarn is lovely.
But this sweater is, I mean, definitely a labor of love for myself.
That's good. I'm
and
glad that you're knitting all of these wonderful things for you.
I am too. And I can't wait to wear it. But at the same time, I'm really enjoying the process. So I'm not in a rush either.
Oh, it's so pretty.
I am kind of hoping that I could get it done before my trip to Washington. But if I don't, it's okay.
It's something nice to work on, but it's also nice to wear.
I'm excited. I love it. And so I just have been knitting on that every day. But literally, like, a day of knitting might get me, and it's not like I'm knitting all day, but whatever I can knit in a day might give me like an inch and a half in the body.
Yeah, when are you going?
In like 3 weeks.
I like these a lot.
But once I get to the, I mean, seriously, once I get to the hem, the sleeves will go, I mean, they'll take time, but they'll be still faster than this, 450 whatever stitches on the
Do
needles.
sleeves bug you?
I don't really enjoy doing sleeves. And these have the short row set in, you know, the set in sleeves. So where you have to go back and forth to get your sleeve caps. So they'll be kind of fussy.
I've only knit 2 sweaters. The sleeves, I think mostly what bothered me is that as you're knitting, you have to constantly turn the sweater.
And you've got all that
if it's
weight.
attached. If it's attached. If you knit them separately, seamed.
And I've heard a lot of people who, once they join or once they divide for sleeves, like in a raglan shaped, they will stop and then put their body stitches on hold and then knit the sleeves then.
So there's less bulk.
So that there's less weight on their needles.
That's a good idea.
This construction, and with trying to alternate skeins and all that, I just didn't see how I would do that. And there's already so much bulk there that it really wouldn't save me that much. So anyway, but that's what I'm working on.
It's very pretty.
Thank you.
It's lovely. I like it. All right.
I do think I need to cast on another pair of socks though, because now I've finished this one. You gotta have a pair of socks on the go.
I know, I finished those socks and I didn't have any socks for like 2 whole days. So I cast on a pair of socks with my Thing 1 and Thing 2 yarn. It's self-striping. Okay, this is, I'm getting all of the things out because I have several pairs of socks in here. This is Neeley's Knit Supersock.
So fun.
And it's called Thing 1 and Thing 2. And this is the contrasting color to go with that. And I cast on, this is all I have done. But once again, I did the cuff pattern from Emily's Candy Floss socks, but I did a little bit longer ribbing before I did your pattern, just because I couldn't remember how many it was, so I just kept going.
All good.
Yeah. And I love it. I love these really, really bold stripes. That's all I have done, but that's okay.
That's a good size of stripe too. They're like narrow enough that it's fun to keep changing.
Oh yeah.
But it goes wide enough that you actually have a stripe.
Yeah. And it's really cute. These are going to be for me. For me. Actually, I have a lot of socks that will be for me because my family, they don't like most of the yarn that I bought. Darn. I guess I'm gonna, except for Nadia. Nadia wants all of my yarn.
Yeah. This stitch marker is so cute. Did you make that?
No, this is one from Crystal, Vintage Fairy. LLC.
Oh, I love that. That's an
little
angel wing.
Rhinestone studded angel wing. Yep.
So pretty. And it's sparkly.
Yes, that one's cute.
Get a bit of bling.
Let's see. Then I also have in here, I have been looking for the perfect yarn and pattern pairing for my mother's sock.
Ooh.
So this is number 12 for the year, and that was my goal, but I also want to knit my mother's socks every year for Christmas. This yarn I found when I was at the Great Basin Fiber Festival with Christy and Tristan from Girls in the Yarn Cafe podcast. Wait, that's not the right, that's the right name of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I mix things up, yes. And Audrey from Knit Song podcast. So this is Yarning Apart, and the color is Dust Light.
That's kind of fun because the socks I knit for Mom last year, the colorway was Dust Weaver.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't remember that. But this one has some pinks and peaches and tans, and I wanted to find the right pattern, and I have been looking for about 6 months, and this morning I think I found it.
Ooh.
So.
Oh, I love her on Instagram.
This one is called the French Meringue Socks. So you need to look on Ravelry or on Instagram. It's a cabled sock, but it looks like it doesn't have any purling. So everything is really kind of squishy and lofty. There's not high definition in any of it. Mm-hmm. It just looks really cozy, and that looks like something my mom would like, and it looks like this yarn would be a really nice pairing with it. So,
and that's by Vanilla Wool.
Yes, Vanilla Wool. This one says one size. I haven't even read through, but I already see how I can adjust if needed. And the toe, it's got like a star toe, which I haven't knit before, so I'm gonna try that. But for my mom, I needed something a little bit stretchier, so I was researching cast-ons, but I didn't want anything really stretchy because I wanted it to stay up.
Yeah.
And I was watching a tutorial on just doing a long tail cast on and getting it a little bit more stretchy. And it was on your needles, one thing she was recommending, you notice that there's spaces between all of your stitches. But when we cast on, a lot of times we cast on and we kind of tighten it down so that they're all lined up together, really close together. But when you're casting on, if you don't tighten it down as much and kind of hold your finger in place when you're casting on the next one so that they're spaced like they would be on your needle, hers was just looked like the perfect stretchiness. I'm going to try that. We'll see.
Sounds good.
Did that make sense?
Yeah, it made sense to me.
Okay.
But
I will find the video that I watched and I will link it in our show notes. Our show notes will all be below. And we also have them on our website. The website is where you have all the links. The show notes below is the information, but it's not links to everything. So if you want links, go to our website where you can find all of that. But we'll link the video that I watched.
Okay. Look how cute that is, though. That's very Dr. Seuss right there. I feel like if Dr. Seuss was going to draw a picture of
somebody knitting,
that's what he would do. It's the yarn and the hat.
So
fun.
That's the next thing that I'm casting on. I was going to do it this morning, but ran out of time. That's okay. I have been trying to knit, like pay more attention as I'm knitting to enjoying the process and not rush through everything. And so I do have multiple projects on the go. I've been like monogamously knitting for a month, and then I gave up on that because...
Did you cast on everything?
Well, I cast 1, 2, 3, 4 things. I cast on 4 things because I finished 4 things.
Okay, well, hey, that's
6
great.
things, but I cast on 4, so that's okay. I have to write down the knitting video.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that because I may have seen it actually before, or I've seen something like that before, but I don't know how much it penetrated my brain.
Well, I haven't tried it.
I don't usually have a problem for what I knit for myself, but I think that's a really good thing to remember, especially as I'm knitting for other people.
Yeah, my mom, I know that would be something that would bother her if it's restrictive at all. She's going to want it to be cozy. Cozy is the thing.
Comfortable.
So,
yeah.
Yes. This will not help me at all with this.
March member meeting agenda. No, okay. I don't think that's going to help you at all.
This will. Okay. I don't know if you remember this.
I do.
From a long time ago. Last time I showed it, I was to right here. This is the Dot Shawl by Casapinka. Just a minute.
Okay, I actually remember the name of this yarn.
Okay, what is it?
So weird.
It's because you wrote a story in your mind all about
Bahama Woodstar.
And it's Mrs. Crosby
Mrs.
loves
Crosby
to play.
loves to play.
And it's Bahama Woodstar.
Mrs. Crosby loves to knit?
No, play.
Oh, play. Okay.
This is the Bahama Woodstar. And it's a single ply.
Why do I remember this? It's so weird.
Because we had an entire conversation about what it reminded you of.
Oh, that
with
must
a
be.
woman with her reading glasses. I don't remember the story, but exactly. And then...
Oh, and she kills people with her knitting needles. Like she's like a ninja.
I don't remember that. That's okay.
Maybe I just kept that inside and I shouldn't have
Okay,
said
here's the
that.
question, Emily. This is Malabrigo. What is it?
I don't know.
Make a guess. Come on.
I really don't know. I really don't know. Something about wine. Vino. I'm just
I
making
can't
that
even
up.
say it. So here it is. Wait.
It's backward from there, so I can't see it. Oh, Rupestre? Rupestre. Huh.
This one is Silky Merino.
Now I
It's
won't
a
forget.
singles. You'll know from now on. This is what I'm doing the little dots in. And I stopped doing this one because I cast on my Good Vibe shawl and then that one took over. But then before I finished that, I had to cast on Emily's, well, 3 shawls that I knit of Emily's pattern. I totally forgot about this one.
Oh, the scrappy bias, yeah.
we did two scrappy
Oh,
bias,
that's right.
then I did the Sweet Summer Nights. And so, anyways, so I pulled this one out in my quest to finish all unfinished projects and decided that I don't know if I even want to finish it. So, we'll see.
You know what? It's okay if you don't.
I think that I'll finish it. I'm just not going to push to finish it because this is not me as I'm going along. It is not me. This would be a fantastic knit for my mother-in-law.
That's what I was going to say.
This would be fantastic for her. Though, I don't know if I would give it to her because I don't know if she would have the patience to care for anything. She has a care for anything wool.
Yeah.
Because she has a few things that people have given to her.
She's a wash and wear girl.
Yeah, she is. And so I think it would be more of a burden to her than something that she would enjoy using.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I think I'm not going to rip it out because of the fact that I wouldn't be able to really use the yarn again. So what's the point?
All these lines
Every
of dots,
row
right?
you cut and weave in the ends, and I've woven in the ends, and it's singles, and it would. So
is it just this that you've cut, or have you cut this one? I cut
just this one, but weaving it in.
Sure.
Is a huge pain.
Especially,
to pull
yeah, you're
up.
right.
So I
especially
just
with
decided
singles.
I'll probably finish it at some point, and then it'll go in the gift knits drawer when I find the perfect person for it. But until then, I'm not gonna stress about it because my goal is to focus on knitting all of the things that bring as much pleasure and joy as possible.
Absolutely.
And if that one doesn't, then I'm only gonna work on it once in a while.
Very nice.
So I did do some work on it, but
Do you want to keep this?
oh, I do want to keep this in there. I also was using really crummy needles before, and I switched them out. I was using wooden needles that were kind of blunt, and I hated that. So I didn't like that.
I really don't understand the wooden needle thing, but that's okay. I mean, like, we've had this discussion before.
Yes.
We don't need to repeat
Yeah.
it.
Okay, I told you I've been casting on a lot of things. Here we go. I have. Okay, I bought some yarn. Surprise! Okay. I was at Gardner Village, one of our favorite places. They have a yarn shop there that I love, Willow Hill, where we have our knit night. And they are doing this really fun thing for Halloween. They are doing the Wizarding World of Yarn, where they have their own custom colorways that they've dyed for this shop. And I had to check it out.
Ooh, that one's Transfiguration.
And they had 5 different ones, and it was really hard to choose. I wanted them all, but
That's where I'm going.
I bought 2 more than I should have. I bought 2. I bought 2 more than I should have. Yes, if they still have some.
She's holding it for me.
She is? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to go get them. So this one is Transfiguration. It is gorgeous.
I think I have her holding this one for me, but I'm hoping I can trade for that one.
Oh my goodness, I love it, love it, love it. There was another one very similar to this one. I was trying to decide which was kind of her accident one that she only had like 5 of them. But anyways, I ended up going for
gorgeous.
this one. I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
I love the saturation in that.
I kind of want to knit a shawl, but I was deciding that shawls for me, I need more that are more solid because that's what I need. Anyways, so, the problem is I buy all this yarn and I want all these socks, but I don't want to hide my socks. Like, I don't want to hide all my beautiful yarn in my shoes.
Maybe you need to make leg warmers.
Because you know how many times I've worn leg warmers.
I know, you're kind of
all 0 times.
Well, but it would be like socks that you don't have to hide.
Oh, I need a cowl. I want cowls, but all the cowls I see are not me. I want more smooth.
You probably just need to make one up.
I do. I need to make one up. I actually think you're right about that.
Just rivet at the top, stockinette, or even not rib. Do an I-cord.
You know what? My absolute favorite knitted thing that I own is what Emily's made for me last year from Malabrigo. Actually, I think it was it last year?
It was Madeline Tosh. But...
It was Madeline Tosh? Okay, I couldn't remember. And it was
a couple of years ago.
Capelet, but I wear it like a cowl, and I don't remember the pattern name, but I've shown it before.
I can look it up.
It's my favorite thing. So,
really?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, I love it. And I was thinking I should just knit several of those for me. And
I was thinking that I should knit one for me and wear it the way you do.
Yeah, I really like it. It's my favorite.
I'll
Okay.
tell you what the pattern is.
So here's the first skein that I bought. I haven't done anything with. But the second skein that I bought is called Wingardium.
Wingardium Leviosa.
You have to say it.
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
And this one is one that my oldest daughter picked out that she really, really, really liked. And for her to say that she really likes a yarn,
that's saying something.
Yeah, so I had to go back and get it when she wasn't there. And I cast on the Sockhead Hat, and it's my first one. I haven't knit one before, and I've just got like this much done. I don't have the right size needles in a circular, so I got out my carbons, which I really have not enjoyed until this project.
You're enjoying them here, huh?
I love them for this project.
Isn't that funny?
I was like, oh, that's all I have. I ordered some, so I should get them today or tomorrow. But I love these so much, I may not switch it. I don't know what is the deal, because I have hated these needles.
You know what? I used them for a long time and really liked them. Like, they were my go-to needle forever. And then all of a sudden, it was like one day, I'm like, I can't stand these one more second.
That's exactly what I did.
I just stopped using them.
Yeah.
Altogether.
With this, I'm just like, oh, I just need to do one more needle. Oh, I'm really enjoying these. I don't know what it is about it, but I am going to switch when I go up a size, because I don't have the carbons in the next size. I decided to do, let's see, these are 2.75 millimeter. Is that right?
So a size 3, US size 3.
Yes, so it's a US size 2 for the ribbing, and I'm going to go up to a 3 millimeter when I go to the stockinette. And this will be a Christmas gift for my oldest daughter.
Nice.
So this yarn, oh my goodness, love it.
I think that she has one of these, and then that green one that I can't remember the name of.
I have to talk about winding yarn in a second, but once you tell
the name of the capelet is the Primavera Capelet by PaulinaP. And you probably won't, I mean, I can show my phone, but you won't be able to see anything.
Yeah, you can't see.
Anyway.
It's lovely. And it's on your Ravelry page, and it's on previous episodes.
Yeah, it's got an old shale lace pattern, and then just a really pretty, like, wavy kind of border.
One thing I would note, if you're doing that one, is unless you're going to wear it like a cowl, you want a much stretchier cast on. Yeah. Which is actually the reason why I've worn it as a cowl, and then I've decided I really like it that way. So
yeah,
that's one thing you want.
I did that like it's been at least 2 years ago.
Yeah, it has been. I was trying to remember what order. You gave me my first pair of socks. I think you made the capelet, then the socks. I think. Anyways, it doesn't really matter.
Could be.
So, yarn. Winding yarn.
Yes. Oh. Ball winders are stupid. We'll just say that. The broken kind, anyway.
The broken ones are stupid.
Mine, I have to tell you my little story, and then you can tell us how you're doing it.
Okay, let's hear it.
I know yours isn't working anymore either. Mine was already kind of iffy, like giving me some problems. But then I needed to wind all this yarn, and I thought, it's going to take me 4 times as long. I'm just going to deal with it. So I got it out, and I wound 4 of my 5 skeins that I needed to wind. But I had to leave, and I only had 1 left. So I left my ball winder and my Swift hooked up on my kitchen counter, which is the only surface they'll attach to. And when I came home, the ball winder had fallen off. So it had come unhooked and fallen off. And I didn't realize it at the time, but it my husband's a mechanic, so he would describe it, the timing is off. Oh, basically, it wound a giant flying saucer.
Oh,
it's no longer doing the up and down and around while you go like this thing. It was just winding it in one big thing.
Okay.
So once we had to take it off and then rewind it into a ball.
You wanted to say lots of bad words.
So it took both my husband and I an hour and a half together to fix it. And then at that point he had been winding and the ball was like the tightest thing ever. It was rock hard. So I had to undo it for a while and then gently lovingly doubled in size because it was so tight.
He's like, I'm going to efficiently pack this yarn into a ball.
He felt so bad. He didn't think he was pulling hard, but just anyway. I'm like, no tension. Anyway. So yeah, now I don't have a ball winder at all, but I want one. Again, a good one.
Yeah, you have a Knit Picks.
Yeah, I have the Knit Picks version, which it was a gift from my son. He bought the Swift and the winder and my scale all for me one year for Christmas. And so having it has been great, but it's just cheap. It wore out way too fast. It's like if you want to wind a ball of yarn once every 2 months, then it'll probably be good for you. But
if you have patience.
Well, it worked fine when I first got it.
I was going to say, I came over and used yours all the time.
It's just it just wore out so fast.
My ball winder had problems from the beginning, and my Swift died right away, so I need both. So I've been winding yarn differently as well. Mostly I've been winding everything into a ball, but it's been annoying because I don't have anything the right size to hold the skein, the hank of yarn while I wind it. So I have to have somebody holding it for me, which they do not appreciate that.
Because it takes time,
I have to bribe my family with chocolate.
Honestly, the Swift I think is even more important than the ball winder.
Yes, so I need a new Swift, now, yesterday. Because yesterday I was winding yarn. And I managed to wind the yarn for my socks and my mom's socks, which is nice, but it's really, this one worked quite well. Anyways, it worked quite well, but it's still, it was a project. I had to have one person holding the Swift so that it wouldn't topple over, and another person making sure that it was feeding exactly right into the ball winder so that it wouldn't explode, and then I was winding so it was a process. But other than that, I've started using, and I can't remember exactly how to say it, a Nostapin.
Nostapin or Nostapine, I don't know.
I don't know. We were calling this the beginner's wand.
The practice wand.
This is the wand for dummies. And I wound this cake with the Nostapin, whatever. And I did a whole bunch of other skeins. But it takes an eternity when you don't have a yarn Swift. Fingering weight yarn. But I love it. I love it so much. It took me 35 minutes to wind this.
I don't mind the winding, but it's like wrestling with the yarn.
But what it is, with everything that I was trying to do, I'm trying to just enjoy the process more. So it was just having to think about it and keep doing it. And I loved it so much. I have an old spool, like a vintage spool holder that I used first, but it doesn't have a notch in the top, so I actually had to take a piece of tape and tape it down
so it doesn't keep
to make a center pole ball. But this one, it has a notch, so you just wind it around a couple of times and keep going, and it's really nice. There's a lot of videos online that show you how to wind, and there's 2 ways I'm going to tell you. That if you wind, like as you're winding around, if you go kind of angle higher and lower where the yarn every time is going to touch the wood, like go to the outer edges, it's going to create an oval. But if you kind of go more, instead of going more slanted this direction, you're going to go from edge to edge, that where it's not touching the wood, it will create a cake. I don't know if that made sense, but you can go look at videos. But I discovered this works 100 times better for a center pole ball than the ball winder.
What is it that you like about a center pole ball?
Well, this one I just did center pole because of the fact that it was already coming out, and I'm like, well, let's see how it goes. I've discovered I really like it because it can just stay in one place and I don't have to worry about it getting caught. Like if it's in my bag and I have other things that sometimes it's going around, it gets kind of annoying. But it actually feeds so nice this way that I've loved it. I have never used the center pole ball when I wind it on the ball winder because it always seems to be getting caught or explode or whatever, and I didn't like that. But doing it with the Nostapine, whatever, I actually have loved how smooth it feeds.
The only thing I don't like about a center pole ball is how it collapses and then it turns into a big giant mess at the end. And so my recommendation is to put it in something else to keep tension on the outside of it. And honestly, I mean, I've seen lots of people that are making like bags, like little cozies for them. You can do that. But I just get a sandwich size Ziploc bag and stick it right in there.
And it fits perfectly.
Fits right around it. And then it'll keep it kind of collapsing in on itself instead of falling down. Does that make sense?
One thing I would say, when you wind on a ball winder, the ball winder has kind of a center diameter about this big, that once you take it off, that kind of relaxes and it closes that up, and that's what helps it to not be so tightly tensioned. But this has a much smaller diameter. And what's interesting is as I'm pulling it, it just keeps filling and filling and filling and filling and keeping tension on this so far that it's been really nice. I think that's one reason why it's not exploding, because it's just holding the tension really well. So I think it will last longer than this would. But it's true, once you get to a certain point, the outside, you've just got this ring and it's going to fall apart and collapse. But I'm not quite as worried with this project because it won't use the entire skein.
Sure. Yeah.
So we'll see as we go along, but I love using it.
Well, this is why I love yarn bowls, because a yarn bowl, which has my, a yarn bowl does a lot of, I mean, I can pull from the outside and still have just, you know, it just stays in here. And this is one of my most treasured gifts that anybody's ever given me because it was handmade by one of the youth that I work with. But anyway, so that works really well for me for either a ball or a cake of yarn that's pulling from the outside. I wouldn't see the need for a yarn bowl. I mean, other than it's fun and pretty with a center pull cake.
Well, and the other thing is if you're going to be traveling, this is not something you're going to take with you traveling so much.
No, so true.
But it is really nice. I have a large one. It's in the house that has 3 openings. So I was doing color work and it held all 3 and separate skeins, and I didn't have to worry about yarn management at all. It was so nice. It was really nice.
Fun.
Okay, one more.
One more. Okay, I'm excited.
Told you it was like a marathon.
That's awesome.
I cast on lots of things. Okay, this one is 100% pleasure knitting. Has no purpose other than to make me happy.
Oh, I've been wanting to try one of these patterns.
This is Mary Jane's Tea Room. Is the name, not the designer. It's the brand.
The brand.
And it's Tea Room Bears. Let's see if this will, hopefully it doesn't reflect too much. Yeah, I don't think it will. I think you can see it fine. So I'm making this one for fun. I have 2 legs.
Oh.
2 little legs. Look how adorable they are.
Oh my gosh.
This yarn.
It's a good size too.
It is a good size. This yarn, we've talked about it before. It's like last year. It's like the absolute favorite yarn for knitting any softie because it is so soft and squishy. It's a baby alpaca, I believe, and the halo on it is gorgeous. It is just, it is so soft.
It's not showing up in the video. I don't think. You got some really pretty all natural looking variations there.
This one is Cascade Yarns. I don't know. Let's see. Nope, you can't see when I pull this off.
It's Eco something.
Eco Duo.
Eco Duo.
Eco Duo. Cascade Yarns. Nope. It's just tearing it. You can't see. Sorry. I thought if I took off the price tag you could see underneath, but it's Eco Duo down here. And the color, it just has a number. But when I've looked it up online, I think it said vanilla. I could be wrong on that, but I believe they said vanilla. Now, the thing with this yarn is that it is variegated. It's a tonal variegation. But you can see one leg is darker than the other. But as I knit the body, I've done the little cotton rabbits before with this one, and some like one arm was a little darker than the other, but I loved it. This yarn is so nice.
I have this in the kind of rust color. The idea that I was going to knit the little cotton rabbits fox out of it. Ooh. But I just never have done it.
I want to go get all of them in this because it is so soft. It is 70% baby. This one's undyed baby alpaca, 30% merino.
Undyed merino too. Yeah.
And I just had some worsted weight. It calls for worsted weight yarns, and I just pulled out whatever I could find that I thought might be cute with this. And I wound these with my Nostipin, my beginner's wand. And like Emily was saying, it's kind of
Did you dye that yarn?
Apart. No, I didn't dye this one. No, I dyed some others very similar to it, but this one
looks really familiar.
I think this one's a super wash. It's not labeled. I just bought some random minis in worsted weight once, and it didn't have any labels with it. But I dyed some like that once with this, is it Patton's? I'm trying to remember what the wool is that you can buy at like Joann or Michael's. But I don't have many fingering weight or worsted weight yarns.
I don't either. I mean, I'm getting a few more because I've been buying so much Malabrigo.
So that's the problem. I'm getting ready to go do the rest of the body and the skirt, and I was realizing I just don't have what I need.
So are the clothes all in worsted as well?
Yep, they're all in worsted. And what I bought to make this, because I was going to make little cotton rabbits instead, I bought some DK, and then I changed my mind. So I have stuff to make the little cotton rabbits, but not this one. So I need to go buy some today because I can't do the rest of her until I have.
Well, I need to go pick up my yarn.
I know, we should go do that. Let's go do it, because I was actually going to do that on my way here and ran out of time. So these M&Ms, the almond ones.
Oh my gosh, almonds, yum.
They're annoying, and I'm a little bit allergic to almonds, but I don't care because those are my favorite. That's all that I've done, Emily.
That's it. That's it. Well, this is all I've done.
Knit almost an entire sweater.
Nah, like a third of a sweater. It's gonna be a big old sweater. Really, honestly, fingering weight sweaters for plus size people, it's not for the faint of heart.
Takes a certain type of constitution.
In more ways than one.
Okay.
So, we have had, last week we had our 1 year, or last week, our last podcast was our 1 year anniversary podcast. And we asked you all to share some comments about things that you have enjoyed from the podcast for the last year. And we had so many wonderful comments. You guys are so sweet and so kind. Like,
I know, it was really nice actually, because we were talking a little bit about some people that maybe weren't always so kind.
Oh, but so many more people who are kind.
Yes, exactly.
And so many of you have shared like really sweet things that have said that we've helped you in some way.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing thing, because I'm very humbling, because we're just sitting here in your sewing room talking about knitting, and that's it. Like,
yeah.
But I totally, I know that there's others who've helped me, and so anyway, that's really great. But we had such a huge response of people saying that they've loved our snippets from the past segment.
We actually were discontinuing that because we're like, oh, you know what? We don't want to burn people out on that.
Or us. Or us. But what we would really love to do is to hear from you. And so if you have a snippet from your past or something that you want to share, an heirloom or anything like that, we would love to hear from you.
So snippets from the past, what it has been, is how we've shared a little bit about what has inspired us, our family heritage of the domestic arts. Any of them,
because we come from a long line of makers.
Yes. And what has inspired us to do the things that we do and can carry on the tradition. And so we want you to share yours. You can share your knitting story. You can share why, share an object that's important to you, something that has inspired you. But to submit it needs to be about 5 minutes long. Mm-hmm. You don't want it to be too long, and you need to upload it either to Dropbox or to Google Docs, and then Google Drive. Google Drive, and you can send it to me. And my email address is going to be in the description box below with my contact information, and you can email me a link to that. So,
and then we may be able to share and feature your snippets segment on a future podcast.
Yes, you just want to make sure that your lighting is good, that you can see clearly, and that we can hear you. Yep. Yes, so we want to be able to see you and hear you. Because usually what happens when we share a little bit about our snippets is that we get a lot of responses that, me too, oh, I remember when my grandma, or I loved this because, and so when you share yours, a lot of people will be able to remember their own stories even more clearly and, kind of bond together. And Absolutely. So that's the fun of it. So you can share whatever you would like with your snippets, and we will review them and see. I also do some editing on some of the podcasts, so know that, we may cut some things out, but
just for time.
We just would love for you to share whatever.
Yeah, that would be really fun. And at the very least, we just love to have you share it with us, just so we can get to know you too, get to know you better. Yeah. So that would be really fun. And with that, we're actually introducing a new segment. Yes. But should we do our giveaway before we do our new segment?
Sure, let's do our giveaway.
Our giveaway that was part of our podcast, or our anniversary giveaway.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. So we're going to show this. Now, Deborah showed her socks that she has begun with her Thing 1 and Thing 2 yarn. So if you'll remember, our prize is from Neeley's Knits. Is that what it is?
Neeley's Knits.
The Thing 1 and Thing 2 colorway. Plus the so cute, oh my gosh, I love it so much, Cat in the Hat bag.
It's actually a larger bag. I didn't want to make another sock size bag because usually you have plenty of those. So this one is
seriously, you guys, this prize I would have killed to get this one. Plus these adorable little stitch markers, the Thing 1 and Thing 2, and the little Cat in the Hat from the Quirky Sculptor, also known as your daughter Ella. Plus your pattern of choice from Laura Smoot Designs on Ravelry. So you can look through hers and pick whichever pattern that you want, and she will gift that to you. So you get all of those things. And our winner is She was number 10. We just used a random number generator.
For our comments on the previous video on YouTube.
Yes. And her name on there is Stitchopia.
Yes.
Stitchopia. So you just need to contact us through, how do you want her to contact us?
Through Instagram.
Well, contact me through Instagram, Salt City Knits, and I will get this package out to you. And you are going to enjoy it so much. And make sure when you contact me to share your Ravelry name and which design from Laura Smoot Designs you want, so that we can make sure that that pattern gets to you as well. So that is so fun, so exciting.
And then we can be twins if you knit socks.
I know. I wish I was being
If you don't knit socks and you knit something else, fine. But if you want to be my twin,
there you go.
And then we could take a picture, and then we can. Okay.
And you can move in together.
You could get married.
Then you can start podcasting with her because you love her better. I don't know where that came from. Sorry.
That's a little bit over dramatic, Emily.
It's my OTTS again.
So it's our new segment.
Yay!
We want to share. I don't know how often.
Every once in a while, a few of our favorite things.
If you couldn't get that from the intro right before.
So, our favorite things today, we're just going to pick a topic and we're going to share our top 3.
Yep.
Each of us on our favorites in that topic. So, our topic today is
favorite things to drink.
Awesome. So, what's your number 3?
My number 3. Okay, my number 3 is going to be apple cider. Cold
apple cider. Now, what do you mean by apple cider?
Apple cider. Okay. Nothing that you get that.
Now, first of all, we're not talking alcoholic, not hard cider.
No.
Because neither of us drink alcohol.
We don't drink alcohol.
Okay.
So when we talk about things to drink.
We might be boring for some of you, but that's okay.
I don't think we need anything to drink to be a little bit strange and interesting. So, I like to go to Apple Hill in California in the fall, where they have their fresh pressed apple cider. Oh, that is heaven. So one year,
it's just like apples in a cup.
It is. Oh,
yeah,
so good. We went there one year, and I made sure that we had plenty of storage space in our car so that we could bring home as much cider as possible. And then we went, and they were closed.
See, we do that when I go up to Washington. We're going to do the same thing. Yeah. But then we have our friends, the Fishers, who have their fresh apple cider that they've done the same thing where every once in a while they'll bring it to us.
Yes. They need to be bringing it to my house. When you say us, you mean you.
Do you remember last year they brought you some too?
I was at your house, yes.
Okay. What can I say?
You are his favorite. That's okay though. That's okay. So that's my favorite, but I don't like I don't like hot drinks. I almost heated up that's what I'm drinking right now. It's apple cider. I almost heated it up because my throat is really yucky from seasonal allergies, and I could barely talk this morning, and I decided I really hate hot drinks. I don't know why. Hot chocolate, I drink it once a year, and then I'm like, yeah, I think that's about it. I'm good now. That's it. Okay, what's your number 3?
This is really hard for me to pick, so I'm gonna go with this one. So my number 3, I like herbal teas. I really like, and I love hot drinks. We don't drink regular tea or coffee, but I'll drink herbal teas and hot chocolate. So this is one of mine that I really like. It's just like buy it at the grocery store, ginger tea. But the key to making this really tasty, and actually I do this with any kind of a spiced tea, because I have others like cinnamon or clove or different spicy teas, is I have a little can of orange juice concentrate, like frozen orange juice concentrate I keep in my fridge, and I'll just get a little spoonful of that out and add it to my tea. And it kind of gives you almost like a wassail, kind of the non-alcoholic version of wassail in your tea. And it's so good, especially in the winter, especially when you're sick or anything like that. You just got that hot orange and spice thing. So anyway, that's adding a little bit of juice concentrate to your tea. Yummy. It's like adding lemon, only it's orange. Yum.
Orange. Yum.
So
Yes.
that's probably my number 3.
Okay.
So what's your number 2?
My number 2 is raspberry cordial. I'm going to
Really?
tell you about
I need to hear about this while I eat an almond.
So I went to my book retreat this last week, and we had a theme, and it was Anne of Green Gables. We all read that book, and we had a dinner that was based on the book, and we had raspberry cordial. I'm going to put the recipe on our website, so you can see it there. And it was so good. It's like lemonade. Well, it's like raspberry juice with a little bit of lemonade. It was so good, but it's really rich.
Like
and
sweet,
so
just like
very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But I really liked it. It was the first time I had it was last week, and I decided that's one of my favorites.
Do you remember Grandma's slush, Grandma Gray's slush that she used to make?
Oh, now I have to change number 1.
I know, that was so good. This is actually really hard. I thought it would be really easy, but it's not. It's okay.
Now I have to think about it.
And I have to state really quick that water is actually my number 1 thing.
That was going to be mine.
Oh, okay. Well, but I'm not saying that one because I'm like, that's...
It might be
obvious.
boring, but still.
Okay.
Okay, that's your number 2.
Okay, so my number 2 is this herbal tea, and I love this tin. I inherited this tin from my mother-in-law when she passed away, and isn't it the prettiest thing? I don't even know where, I mean, this is an old one. But anyway, I just use this to store this tea in. I buy this tea, you can get it online, but I buy it whenever we go to San Diego. Oh my
What
gosh.
is that one?
This
Is it
is
hibiscus?
from the American Tea and Coffee Company, I believe is the name of the company. And they have a store in Old Town San Diego, which is where I first got it. And this is a tea called Mango Flip Tisane. I think that's how you say that. It has pineapple, hibiscus, mango pieces.
I have to smell it. It's so pretty. We need to show it. Can you
know,
show
it's
it?
really
Is there a way to show it?
I don't know if you can see that tea in there, but it's got those big pieces of fruit and flowers. I'm actually getting kind of low on this one. It is so good. And I love this one hot, but I like it even better iced.
Oh, okay.
So I'll brew it strong. And again, it's an herbal. I'll brew it strong, and then I will just pour the hot tea over a big glass of ice to cool it off, like a lot of ice. It's really tasty, and it's just this gorgeous cranberry color. And it's sweet but fresh, not overly sweet, and very floral. I don't know. It's just so nice. So I'm like, I have my little scoop, and you can see like there's pieces of fruit in it.
I really
Fruits and flowers.
I really want to like tea.
No, there's just
Because it smells so good. We have all these herbal teas, and my kids will brew them, and I'm smelling like, oh, that smells so good. And I sit down and try it, go, ew, why do you drink that? Every time. So I just want to smell it. That's all.
well, there's nothing wrong with that. I so much of the tea experience is the kettle, the whistle of the kettle, the hot cup, the steam,
I
the
can see
smell, all of that
The
is so much of it.
experience. It's not just drinking the drink.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. All right, so you're number 1.
I was going to say, water. Like, my husband, he's almost anti-water.
Yeah.
He's almost... I think I may have to switch it to Grandma's frozen slush. She had next to her sink this old metal hand crank ice grinder. And it was brilliant. I remember we would go, she would freeze, she found containers that would create this perfect cylinder that would fit just right, so she didn't do ice cubes in it. It was just the right size of like this big block of ice that would fit down into her container, and she'd just grind it. I remember going to her house for parties, and her husband, so my grandpa would be holding the I don't know, the pitcher underneath, and she'd be grinding away, and I knew we were going to have her delicious slush. And then after that, she put
Pineapple,
juice.
and I don't even know what she put in it.
I know.
Dad has the recipe.
She did several different ones.
So good.
But I think that's where my love of pineapple juice originated. I do love pineapple juice.
Yum, I know.
Love that. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to switch to Grandma's frozen slushy drink.
Because we'll just say water is a given. Like,
well, not everybody loves water, and where I live, my water is number 1. It was voted number 1 for its taste in the state. Mm-hmm. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but it is good.
It is. It's good water.
We have really good, clean. I mean, so one of the great things about living here is the mountain water runoff. Like, we have really good water here.
Well, okay,
not everywhere.
We grew up in Magna. Let's talk a little bit about Magna water.
Magna water was awful.
Corrosive. Okay, when you would drink it, it was actually dry.
Like it made you thirsty.
You would drink it, and you're like, why? My mouth feels really dry while the water is in there. It had so many minerals, especially copper.
Yeah, it's really high in minerals. And like our parents still live out there, and you have to replace any water-driven appliance like really? In half the time easily that you were supposed to last, like your water heater, dishwashers.
But we were never short on our minerals in our body.
True.
Like we
probably have
really
a lot of heavy
bones.
metals in our system that we need to purge out. I don't know. I have filtered water at my house, and it
tastes so bad. But I didn't even notice growing up because you get used to it.
Yeah.
And my husband, he would come over and he's like, "Oh, what is this?" And I'm like, "It's just water." And I'm like, you have to drink it really cold to appreciate it. You have to.
And that's where we got our love of ice. Like, seriously, there is no point in having a glass of water unless it's got ice in it.
Yeah.
And that's not true, but ice, I love ice.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my number one.
I know what your
really
number one
sad.
is.
It's this right here. It's the other guilty pleasure. Coca-Cola, okay? So the reason I have to laugh about that is I was raving about how much I love Coke. And, I forgot her first name.
From
Little Bitty Delights. Is it Amanda?
I think so, Amanda. Yes.
Oh my word, I feel so bad. I'm sorry. I'm totally blanking on your name. But look what she made for me.
It's adorable.
It's a teeny little Coca-Cola. Is that not the cutest thing you've ever seen?
I need to see the ice cubes. My daughter has been trying to figure out the perfect way to make ice cubes.
I don't know the answer to that, but it looks great. It looks fantastic. So it's got the little straw, it's got the ice in it, and the Coca-Cola cup. So I just love it.
Okay, I need to hold this for a minute.
Isn't that fun?
Oh my goodness, that is adorable.
Okay.
How cute.
Now I am cutting back, so notice the littler cup. Now, we're in America, so I don't know, those of you who are outside of the U.S., this might be
This is a child's size. Almost.
But here in the U.S., seriously, you go to like get a large drink is big. You get the extra large drink. It's like a trough. I mean, it's ginormous.
People will walk around with their
they're like a gallon size
these mugs that are huge. This massive
That's
thing.
never going to be me. But, I have definitely had the bigger one. That's a lot of soda. I'm cutting back. But anyway, I love carbonation. It's really sad. And I love caffeine in my Coca-Cola. That's sad. But anyway, I have to show you really quickly, though. Still more from Little Bitty Delights. She sent this one for you, Deborah.
Oh, look how adorable. Okay. It's like apple cider.
It is! Isn't that the cutest
that little
thing?
yellow cup. That is adorable.
It reminds me of Alice in Wonderland, like the little teacups from the tea party.
Adorable.
And here's your little box that it came
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Thank you.
But here's one more. This is a chocolate chip ice cream sandwich. And guess what? It's for you guys. So I'm going to just make this up. We'd like for you to comment below your favorite things to drink.
Think so.
What are your top 3? Or just top 1 if you want to only share that one. So here is this one. And then we're going to announce this giveaway next week or next time on our podcast.
How fun.
But thank you, Little Bitty Delights. She makes the cutest things. Seriously. You guys have to check out her shop. And I feel really bad actually because she sent this to me during the summer when I was so crazy busy with heroic youth stuff. So I'm sorry it took so long to do that. But look how cute. Look at those little chocolate chips.
I want to see that one.
It's so cute. And see the ice cream in it. Oh my gosh. It's
very
so
cute.
It's
very
so,
cute.
so cute.
Oh, her packaging is cute.
It is
Love
adorable. So definitely go find Little Bitty Delights on Instagram. You can look at littlebittydelights.com. And she's just got some of the most adorable things. So check her out.
Fun. Thank you.
And I think she was doing a movie set where she was going to have like the Coca-Cola and popcorn. So
adorable.
How cute is that?
Adorable.
Anyway, I just love it so much. And now that I've shown it, I'm actually going to stick it on one of my projects.
I know. I can actually put this on.
Anyway. All right. Well, did we have... Oh, you have a book to share.
Okay.
I'm a little bit afraid.
While I was on my book retreat and we went to some used bookstores, I found another good book to share. It is called 50 Jobs Worse Than Yours.
I'm a little afraid.
Okay, let's see. Here's one. Now, I should mention, for those of you that may have been looking to purchase any of these books, there sometimes is content in some that we choose not to share because we feel that is not appropriate. And I think that there may be something like that in here.
Okay.
But this one, here's number 14, is Telemarketing Script Writer.
Oh my gosh. I think I would be good at that, actually.
It says, where did it come in? Oh, yeah. Use your English major and tailor scripts to create a dialogue with a potential client, then close the deal. No reason to be presentable. Nobody sees you. If sales are good, the air conditioner is turned back on. You'll need a lightweight cardigan.
If sales are good, the air conditioner is turned back on.
The benefit. So it tells you, like, each one, it has, like, the job. It says dress code. So this one, if the sales are good, you can have the air conditioner turned back on and you can wear a cardigan. The salary, this is $30,000 to $50,000 a year if you're good.
Writing scripts, that can't be real.
Who writes them? Somebody has to write them. So somebody called me this morning, a telemarketer. They called me this morning. They were totally reading a script. And I could tell they were so bored.
I worked as a telemarketer when I was in college.
I worked as a telemarketer for 2 months.
I think I was only there for like 4 months. I hated it. 2
months of my life. So I would say that the worst job than being a telemarketer is the writing. No, because this says the benefit is you are not a telemarketer.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay, here. Let's see. Oh, this one. Okay, you read this one.
B-list celebrity assistant. Look at them sitting on the couch like that. It's like, really? Tell your boss how absolutely great he or she is a few times a day. Log in what he or she wears every day so as not to repeat outfits for the phantom press. Tell him or her how every other B-list celebrity is a washed-up hack and ugly. Your advancement is working for a better celebrity. Oh my gosh. You get $30,000 a year plus party goodie bags containing the latest magazine, a 50-50 cotton blend polyester t-shirt, the latest eyeliner. Anyway. Okay, so your skills, you have to suck up, be attractive, but not as attractive as the B-list celebrity. Oh my gosh, that's funny. That's hilarious. Okay.
Oh, the drawbacks. Oh, picking chickpeas out of a celebrity salad on demand.
Okay.
This one?
No.
Okay. This one?
That can't be a real job.
A walking menu.
I think sometimes I am a walking menu because I spill on myself so much.
So in the job, walk among the restaurant's customers and present them with select illustrated items from the menu you're wearing.
That you're wearing. What? That can't be a
Dress
real
code,
job.
a menu. Your skills, you need to look good in a menu.
Why?
The The benefits of this one is there's special discounts on ribs, Mexican salads, and lean bison burgers from the new Atkins menu.
Oh my gosh. That's so... Okay, but are these real jobs? That's the question.
Yes, there's a lot of them in here that are... we're just skipping a lot of those because guess what? I've had a lot.
Okay, that one's legit.
This says on the back, the author, I've held a number of these jobs, so I speak from experience. Oh, sorry, this wasn't the author. This is a comment. Anyway, so I speak from experience when I say Justin Rags, I don't know how to say his name,
dude.
Has turned a painful and extremely depressing subject into high humor. Okay. We need to share our experience here with this.
Okay. Driver's ed instructor. Now that's real. That is a worse job than my job. I mean, I don't really,
Okay, I really
Most
hate
jobs
this
are worse than
saying
my job because I
here.
have the perfect one.
This one is those who can't do, teach.
No.
Sorry.
No.
And then it says those who can't teach gym.
Okay.
No, I think that's terrible. Oh goodness, and those who can't teach gym put their lives and a combustion engine in the hands of hormone-imbalanced teenagers 4 times a week after school.
Oh no.
Okay,
So
tell about our... We had the same...
I'm not going to name names, but we had a really... Yeah, he actually was a gym and health class teacher. And
what happened when you went driving with him one time? Do you remember the story?
I don't know.
Okay,
I'm old,
you
Deborah.
correct, Emily.
Okay, I'll correct.
tell the
Because
story
you'll
that you
start
told.
telling and I'll remember it.
Yeah, so Emily was driving, and you go in a group with, like 3 or 4 other students, and you go drive for 15 minutes during class, and then rotate. And,
Yeah.
Go
I do remember
practice
all this
driving
so far.
around. And the instructor would be sitting in the passenger seat, and he has a brake
Uh-huh.
on his, so that he doesn't have a steering wheel though. Thank goodness. But he was telling you to turn here, like turn right here, and you're like, okay. So the next turn you'd be turning, and he's like, no, turn right. So he grabbed the wheel and ran it, and you ran into a pole.
We didn't run into a pole. We almost ran into a pole.
I thought you told me you ran into a pole.
No, we almost ran into a pole, and then he yelled at me, and I'm like,
why? Because she's like, it's not time to turn yet. The turn is, another 50 feet.
Yeah.
And he ran you.
I know.
But
the funny thing about it is I'm the oldest child, and my mom was very motivated for me to drive. And so she took me driving all the time, and I knew how to drive by the time I was with the instructor. He was freaking out. But he liked that brake pedal a lot. He would slam it on.
Yes.
He didn't ever press it gently.
Yes, and our youngest sister, she said that while she was going to school there, he got fired because he was always drunk on the job.
Oh, that would make a lot of sense. His depth perception was probably a little off. I have to say, though, our kids have taken driver's ed through, since we homeschool, through a private driving school. Mm-hmm. And, they're interesting, but they're really good. I mean, their experience has been so much better than going through the public school system.
Yeah, this one is fantastic.
Let's just do just one more.
Okay, this one. Just a minute. Let's do this one. Okay, are you ready? You read it, Emily. She can't read it. I don't know if I can. When you laugh, I can't read it. Okay.
The before guy? Seriously? Oh my gosh.
I swear, I see all of these ads for before and after,
you're like,
that is not the same person. How would you like to be the one? Okay, we need you to show the example of what not to do.
I am that person.
The job: stand in front of a camera for an FDA unapproved weight loss muscle gain product, vaguely resemble the after guy, be balding and or overweight, have a Buddha belly. Okay.
Oh, that's so funny.
But the advancement is the after guy. And the benefits are you get to see yourself in print and on TV.
That's funny.
So in here,
gracious.
there's a lot of jobs in here that I think, sorry, Thailand's crocodile hunter. I just got
the pictures are good.
I'm just looking at the picture. His head is in the crocodile's head.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That's a good one. Those are fun.
There are just lots of really kind of random things.
I think we need you to share with us if you have some funny, especially satirical books like that, like the ones we like to share. please send us your recommendations because we are always open for a good laugh. Especially if it's a good, clean laugh. We'll appreciate it.
Yes. If you want to share the love, send us your recommendations below, or you can send it to us on Instagram or wherever.
Sure,
come on.
Yeah, that would be fun. Oh my gosh.
What are you going to do with these books? Come on. They're hilarious.
I know.
They're only fun if you share them.
Exactly. Well, or if you sit there snorting milk and when you're eating your cereal in the morning.
I think another favorite things I need to share are my favorite memes and...
Oh, good grief. How do you pick?
Sorry. Okay, we won't get into that.
Yes. Okay, but
so
yes.
we have one prize that was not claimed last week or on our last podcast, and it was for the skein that I had dyed for our dye-along cow. And if the winner of that prize has not contacted me by the next time we record, then we will pick a new winner.
Yeah, so keep sharing your comments and everything in our dye-along thread because that's where we're
trying to pick again, then we'll pick again.
Awesome.
All right. Fun times. Wow, we still managed to carry on nice and long.
I know, and I only had 2 projects. But you made up for it, so that was okay.
Okay, next time, Emily.
We'll see. I have definitely cast on some socks.
I don't think it even matters because what's the point?
Maybe I'll just show you I have 5 more inches on my...
It's not about how much stuff you get done.
I know.
For us, we're trying to make it more about enjoying the process.
Absolutely. So. And I get to go out of town this next week.
Oh, yeah, you're going out of town a lot.
I'm going out of town a lot.
How are you going to record?
Well, I go out of town every other week.
Okay.
So next week I'll be out of town, but then the next week I won't.
Okay.
And then the next week I'll be out of town, but then the next week I won't. And then the next week I'll be out of town. And then I'll do that. Yeah, anyway.
So we're going to have to catch up quickly.
Yeah, it'll be all right. It'll be fine. Okay. So anyway, but I'm looking forward to getting a lot of knitting done in the car. So that'll be good.
All right.
All righty.
Thank you for
see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.